The following podcast will contain spoilers, tangents, hot takes, and excessive foul language. Viewer discretion is advised. Enjoy the show.
Greetings, horror fans, and welcome to episode 324 of Frightmares. I'm your host, Austin Proctor, and joining me today for 2000's Pitch Black is Spencer Lafferman.
What's up?
Totally not laughing. It has been a minute since Spencer's been on the podcast. If you're a longtime listener of the show, he was on like episode 5, which was like 7 years ago. And only episode 5. That's it.
Yep, just 5. Wait,
That's it.
Was it really that long ago?
Yeah.
You've been doing it that long?
2019 was the first year of the show.
Yep. Yeah. Wow. That went by so fast.
Woof. So yeah, the last episode he was on was in January Carpenter of last year. We did In the Mouth of Madness, and then my alcoholic brain convinced me he didn't want to be on the show, and then yeah.
And I just assumed you didn't want me on the show anymore. So like, it was just a big clusterfuck.
It was a whole fun time. Then rehab happened, and then now I'm almost a year sober. So life's definitely better when I'm not constantly filling every single. I was gonna say orifice, but I don't think
that's not the right word. You're not filling holes there.
I'm not butt chugging, filling my veins or whatever with alcohol. So yeah, that was totally my bad. I was like, I don't think Spencer wants to do this. Should I ask him? No.
Should I ask if he wants me to do it?
No. I'll just assume.
That's just what we do.
So here we are. Anyways, it is great to have Mr. Lafferman back. Again, if you've been a long-time listener of the show, you know this man. It's been a minute. Pitch, it's interesting. I know I had something different planned for 2000, but then I was, as I do, I look around just before each episode to see if there's something else I want to try, and I saw that this was 2000, and I was like, I haven't seen this movie. Never seen it, and I know it's Vin Diesel, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So I was like, let's do this one, and then I was sending you some movies that we were doing, and you were like, oh, Pitch Black, and I was like, all right, cool, and we'll do that because we all, me and you.
Well, because I also, because ironically enough, I think like a day or two before we went into this, you mentioned you were doing Pitch Black, but you haven't seen it, and I was like, oh, wow. So when you said that was available, I'm like, I would love to hear your first time thoughts, like legitimately. So, and I've seen it for a million times. So like,
I was gonna say probably since it released.
On that sense, I was no.
Oh no, we were 10. Never mind.
Yeah, I definitely did not see it.
Time's weird.
Yeah, but I've seen it at least a dozen times easy.
Okay. Yeah, and I had never seen it, and it's always been on my list, and I know there's Chronicles of Riddick, there's even Furia, which might come out. We don't know.
We're not sure.
I
guess it just depends on when he's done with the new Fast and Furious, because the man's getting old, and nothing against him, but like, I don't think he can do Riddick anymore.
Yeah,
I'm going to be honest. Like,
I
just don't think, and not necessarily physique wise. I mean, he can get in shape if he wants to, but I just think Riddick's not a 60-year-old man's game.
It's really not. It's just like
if he wants to look good, he's just going to have to be there for the close-ups and stunt double the rest. Honestly, like nothing against him, but like there's sometimes you just have to say no.
Yeah, because he's okay. So he's 58. He's younger than I thought.
He's 58, but he hasn't even started the last Fast and Furious movie yet. So by the time that's over and he maybe starts production of Riddick, if that even, or Furia, if that even happens, he'll be in his 60s easily.
Well, let's put it this way. Harrison Ford did do another Indiana in his 80s. So, I mean, obviously, clearly not doing a lot of stunt work.
Nothing. Well, I mean, actually, funny enough, he did do stunt work in that, and he
God.
also did stunt work in Brave New World, Captain America, Brave New World. Like he did some of the stunts in there.
I'm gonna be on my deathbed at 80.
Right, we might even make it then. And he's over here doing stunts at 80. And nothing against Vin Diesel, but he's not in stunt shape. Where Harrison Ford has stayed in pretty decent shape his entire life.
That's true.
So like nothing,
You're not wrong.
Nothing against Vin Diesel, but like there is a little bit of a difference.
There's a limit.
I mean, even Liam Neeson's still doing his own stunts.
Oh man, Liam Neeson, what a treasure.
Yes.
So my history with this movie's pretty boring. Never seen this, just known about it, and that's it. It's funny though. I going into this, I figured it was rated R, but I didn't, actually confirm that until going in, and I was like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. That's probably why I didn't see it at a young age. Even though it's really funny because the movie we're gonna talk about that won the Oscar, my dad let me watch it at such a young age. So what I was allowed to watch and what I wasn't in my house when I was growing up, very strange. So.
It's fair.
So yeah, what's just your quick history with not Riddick? Pitch Black. There we go.
I mean, I don't really know what got me into seeing it. I mean, I don't know if I saw Fast and the Furious first, even though this came out first. I don't know if I saw Fast and the Furious first and then went down like a Vin Diesel rabbit hole because he was also in Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
He also voiced Iron Giant.
That's correct.
So there was just things that I think clicked in my head that I've seen plenty of times before, but not until Fast and the Furious it was prevalent because he wasn't front and center in Saving Private Ryan, and even though he was front and center in Iron Giant, he was a robot, so I didn't know what he looked like.
Didn't see a face.
So I think that's what it was. I think it was just one of those things where I'm like, oh, okay, let me see what else this guy's been in, and then I watched that. But that, I mean, so in a way, it's also kind of boring. It's kind of neutral way of watching some of his other movies.
God, this podcast sucks. The worst.
Why is anybody listening?
No, yeah. So that's our basic small history here. Very excited to talk about this because it definitely. For going into the 2000s, this was like the perfect movie. It's so 2000s.
Oh, very much so.
So 2000s.
It might even be, honestly, like every time I watch it, I keep thinking late 90s, which I guess I'm not technically wrong, but I am.
Yeah. Came out in 2000, probably made.
Maybe filmed in like 99 or something.
Yeah. So we will get to that review in a minute. But before we do that, we got to do this. We got to talk about what did Jason Hill make me watch. This week, Jason made me watch The Convent. A group of college students break into an abandoned convent and become possessed by demonic spirits. It's basically Night at the Demons, but fucks so much harder. Now, don't get me wrong. You can see right there, I've got a Night of the Demons 2 poster, because in my opinion, Night of the Demons 2 is the superior Night of the Demons. No shade of the original. I love the original. But this is like Night of the Demons on some sort of drug, which is crazy, because those movies already feel like they're on drugs if you've seen them. It has one of the most outrageously ridiculous openings. It just started, and I was like, "Oh, okay, we're doing this." Not going to give too much away, but there's a lot of blood and guts, and I think there was some metal music in there. And then it cuts to 40 years later.
Jesus, okay.
Which is
what a whiplash.
I know. Try not to break your neck with that whiplash. Bill Moseley pops up as a cop in this.
I'm sure.
A little cameo
Makes
there.
sense.
Adrienne Barbeau pops up in this. She plays whatever her name is from The Fog. I don't remember. The radio DJ in the red sweater.
I forgot what her name was, but I know what you're talking about.
She's in this. Coolio pops up because it's not a 2000s horror movie unless you have a rapper.
That's true. I mean, you got what, Buster Rhymes in Resurrection. You have LL Cool J in H2O.
H2O, yeah. So Coolio pops up. One of the characters, which doesn't, it kind of was a throwaway scene because he drops mushrooms when they go to this abandoned nunnery. Which is
drops mushrooms and just literally drops them, or he takes them?
Takes them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is a wild thing to do in my opinion, but then, they kind of all get turned into demons. Or maybe this was just his
trip.
Maybe this was just his trip.
Yeah.
There's killer music, killer nuns, killer effects, killer comedy, and killer kills. Yeah. Doubling down on the killer kills. It's so much fucking fun. And it's only an hour and 19 minutes with 8 minutes of credits. So it's
like an hour.
It is 71 minutes. And it's just in and out, bing, bang, boom. No wasted time.
Seems like the entire movie's a whiplash.
It really is. Because once people start getting turned into demons, it's just like metal music goes on. And then there's like some also Matrix-esque type music, like the doom, 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 doom,
yeah.
doom.
Oh, 2000s.
Dude, this movie fucks so hard. I'll need to take a pregnancy test. That's how hard it fucked.
Nice.
Like, my God. Might be pregnant.
It's always good when you get pregnant from watching the movie.
Instantly pregnant.
Insta pregnant.
I loved it. This was probably one of the, I think this might be my favorite Jason pick this year. Jason,
well, you've sold me on it. I've never even heard of it till today, so I'm sold.
Dude, it's really good. It has a 3.2 on Letterboxd, which for a 2000s movie of this kind of, caliber quality.
It's pretty decent.
That's pretty decent.
Yeah.
And I know it's silly and stupid, absolutely, but is it also really good? Yeah. 3.1, but still. I didn't see one lick of CG. I'm pretty sure it was all practical. I think this scene here, let me drop everything. I mean, that is like some effects. The little dog with green eyes.
You could do that with some lighting effects.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure all of this was practical, and that makes me happy because going into the 2000s, as we will talk about with Pitch Black,
yes,
hella CG. So yeah, absolutely loved it. Jason gave it a 3 out of 5. His review was, this was fun, super dumb, but fun. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. The only thing stopping me from giving this a full 5 is they had some, what are those sounds? Like they had like a library of sounds that are like, you hear in movies all the time that like takes you out, like that scream. There's like a scream. It's like a high pitched girly scream. It's just like those sound effects that are reused, like the
Wilhelm scream.
No, not that. I like that.
No, but that's kind of what you're talking about. Like they just reused.
Yeah, it's like a library of royalty.
I think there's a bunch. Yeah, royalty-free screams.
Yeah, so there was a whole bunch of sound effects like that used, and I was like, okay. And maybe they did that just to be silly, like it was supposed to be kind of like cartoony. Right. But I was like, all right, I don't like that. That's the only thing I didn't like. 4.5 out of 5 though. It, like I said, movie fucks. It has legs, and it once it gets going, it doesn't stop. Which is basically from the opening scene. You can watch this on Prime Tubi and Plex, I believe. So it's available. You can also buy the Synapse Blu-ray for like $12 on Amazon, which is what I did.
Pretty decent for Synapse, really.
Pretty decent. I think it was on sale, but I got it for like $12. Also, Prime Day is coming up soon, so who knows? Maybe it'll be even cheaper. So that is The Convent from 2000.
Jason says, check it out. You'll probably hate it.
I don't think you'll hate it. I don't
sound like you hated it.
I don't think you'll hate this one. But anyways, moving on to the highest grossing movies of the year and Oscar winners as well. Mission Impossible 2 takes the cake for highest grossing movie at $546.4 million, and the highest grossing horror movie of the year, which I still need to see, and I own the Steelbook.
You never seen Hollow Man?
No, I have always avoided it because I've heard it's really rapey, and I don't like that.
Okay, to be fair, yes, but like, and more of like, if you were invisible, what would you do type of scenario.
Not that.
Right, but there's
weirdos out there.
But in the context, it's less. It's not weird. How do I say this without? How do I say this without spoiling anything? The scenes he does it to, or to his ex-girlfriend, he still has a flame for.
Okay.
So, in a weird way, it's not as rapey as it could be, but it still is kind of rapey.
Still kind of rapey,
for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
It's
you know what?
bacon,
now that
right?
I'm thinking about it, yeah, fuck it. You know what? Now I haven't seen it in a while, but now I'm thinking that there are two other scenes that
kind of
don't justify what I just said. One of them do, the other two don't. But like,
just over here, just trying to.
I tried. I failed.
No.
But like. But it does it does have a stellar ass cast though. Josh Brolin, Kevin Bacon, Elizabeth Shue.
Josh Brolin?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Elizabeth Shue, Kevin Bacon, Rona Mitra.
Who?
Rona Mitra. The girl that was in Doomsday, the main actress, and Underworld: Rise of the Lycans.
Oh, okay.
The one who looks exactly like Kate Beckinsale.
Oh God, all the leather and hot women.
Correct.
So yeah, highest grossing horror movie of the year, Hollow Man, $190.2 million. That's pretty good. This was the 73rd Academy Awards presented on Sunday, March 25th, 2001, honoring movies released in 2000. Best actor goes to Russell Crowe for Gladiator.
That tracks. That makes sense.
100%. Actor in supporting role, Benicio del Toro for Traffic.
Also.
Best actress for Julia Roberts, Erin Brockovich, Killer Movie.
Yep.
Actress in a supporting role, Marissa Gay Harden for Pollock. Never even heard of that.
Wow.
Cinematography to Peter Powell for Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. That tracks.
100%.
Director Steven Soderbergh for Traffic. And now, okay, I don't know what's going on with the Oscars because they went from 1996 to 1999, it went from Best Music Original Score and Best Music Original Song to Best Music Original Dramatic Score and Best Music Original Musical or Comedy. And now in 2000, it's back to just Best Music, Best whatever. I don't know what's going on at the Oscars. They were trying something clearly that didn't work, so whatever. The Best Music Original Score goes to Tan Dun for Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and Best Picture goes to Gladiator.
Man, what a great Oscars.
That's pretty good Oscars.
Yeah, I mean everything right there 100% well deserved.
Yeah, this is one of the few times where I'm like, yeah, all this tracks. I mean, like I said, I've never seen Pollock, but I've seen everything else, and I'm like, you know what? Yeah. This track. So if you haven't heard of Gladiator, because you've been living under a fucking rock, it is about a former Roman general sets out to exact vengeance against the corrupt emperor who murdered his family and sent him into slavery. This is one of those movies my dad let me watch at a very young age, which is wild because one, it's like 2.5 hours, and two, it is so fucking violent. It's pretty violent,
but it's also slightly historical.
Yeah, it's historical.
So maybe, and it's not horror, which you didn't grow up with horror, so I guess it works.
So it's just funny, but this is one of the
Gladiator, bro.
Yeah, one of the most well-deserving movies to win an Oscar. We can't forget Joaquin Phoenix's performance. He's fantastic in this as well. I just think this movie. There's really not much to say. It's just fucking good.
Perfect.
It's just good. And it's weird because usually around for some reason this time frame I'm like kind of hit or miss on when it comes to movies, but this is one that works mainly because of the performances, and it's just a good not the opening scene, but it's towards the beginning of the movie when he goes back to his house and sees his wife and son just hanging.
It's almost immediately after the war scene.
Yeah,
but
and you see just their feet. You're like. I'm wrecked.
Right.
I'm fucking gutted.
Right, he just won his this epic war, which is how the movie opens, like with a 20-minute war scene.
Dude, that opening is
excellent.
Is so good.
It's so good.
So good. But yeah, it's just a well-told story. Also, Ridley Scott directed it. I can't believe he didn't win Best Director. I lied. I haven't seen Pollock or Traffic. And I know Steven Soderbergh's work, but
Traffic is a very well-directed movie.
Okay. I'm just surprised Ridley didn't win for this because this is not really his typical movie. Ridley, he does more sci-fis than anything, but
he does epics. He did Kingdom of Heaven.
Oh, that's true. I forgot it. Yeah, I just recently learned that he directed that one.
He has a nice variety of movies.
Yeah. So, but nonetheless, this is a near perfect movie for me. So I haven't watched it in a while. I didn't watch it for this episode because I've literally grown up watching this for 20-something years, so I just know about it. Okay. And I already rated it, so that's my rule. If I've rated it on Letterboxd, I don't necessarily have to watch it again, and I just didn't have time to watch it. But I do give this one a 4.5 out of 5.
Which one?
Gladiator.
Oh.
Honestly, it might change because I wanted to rewatch it for the episode, but me and my wife couldn't sync up to watch it at the same time, and we want to watch this before because we want to check out Gladiator too.
Oh, you haven't even seen the second one?
Haven't even seen the second one.
Okay.
So this one has if Letterboxd would load, it's been very slow lately. There we go. 4.1 out of 5. Again, I gave it a 4.5. You can check it out on Prime. I haven't written a review, but I already have one ready to go. And it would be, my name is Gluteus Maximus Meridius, and I have IBS.
88.
Because that's what my name would be if I grew up in that time, because my bowels are irritable. And that's probably so much information for anybody listening. But nonetheless... Gladiator,
funny enough,
so fucking
on
good.
my rewatch of Gladiator, I did probably my absolute favorite review of any movie ever.
Oh, and now I gotta go. Well, now I have to go look at it. All right. Did you rewatch it recently?
That was last year?
Oh, fucking shit. Well, hold on, let me scroll.
Just look at I only did one review on it, but I haven't rewatched it a couple times. But it's 5 stars. It's a perfect film.
Oh, there we go. 5 stars. Quote, are you not entertained, end quote, as I stand up alone in my living room and watch the credits roll, weeping and giving a 10-minute standing ovation, I say yes. Yes, I was entertained.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And I'm not even ashamed to be standing, just clapping in my own apartment by myself like an idiot.
It reminds me of that meme I've seen of me in my living room giving Halloween a standing ovation as I do every year or something like
exactly.
that. same energy.
No, but so I actually, what's funny enough, what made me do that is like there was that thing going around to where cans was going down and everything was getting like a 50-minute standing ovation.
Oh, yeah.
So I was kind of like making fun of it, but I was also doing it in like an Academy Award winning like speech way.
Yeah.
And I honestly was sitting there, and I don't know what it is, but that end of that movie always gets me misty eyed.
Yeah.
Like, because
it's emotional.
Very much so.
It's very
emotional. Like that last scene is just hauntingly beautiful.
Yeah, Ridley Scott, you son of a bitch. All right, let's move on to the IMDb Roundup. This is Pitch Black from 2000, released on February 18th of that year in the U.S. because nothing says Valentine's Day like Vin Diesel. Rated R for sci-fi violence and gore and for language. There is no sex and nudity, moderate violence and gore, moderate profanity, mild alcohol, drugs, and smoking, and frightening and intense scenes. Severe. This has a runtime of 1 hour and 49 minutes, listed as a horror sci-fi thriller, directed by David Twohy, who also directed The Chronicles of Riddick, A Perfect Getaway, wow, struggling.
And Riddick.
Maybe I was born with it. And Riddick, written by Jim Wheat, who also wrote A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master, The Fly 2, The Birds 2, and other Riddick movies too. And then also written by, I guess, his brother, Ken Wheat, who also did the same exact things, a lot of sequels, which is fun. Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Fly 2, The Birds 2, and David Twohy, who also wrote Critters 2, The Main Course, The Fugitive, and Waterworld. What a wild assortment of movies. Composed by Graham Revel, who also composed Child's Play 2, Freddy vs. Jason, and Pineapple Express. We also mentioned him on the From Dusk Till Dawn episode. Cinematography by David Egby, who did the cinematography for Mad Max, the original, Warlock, and Scooby-Doo. It's a real ragtag group of people here. Edited by Rick Shane, who edited A Nightmare on Elm Street, The Incredible Hulk, and The Chronicles of Narnia, Voyage of the Dawn Treader. What's happening? Starring Vin Diesel as Richard B. Riddick. Everyone should know him from the Fast and Furious franchise as Dom. We've got Radha Mitchell as Carolyn Fry, who was also in Silent Hill as Rose Da Silva. Cole Hauser as William J. Johns, who was also in Too Fast, Too Furious as Carter Verone. But most notably, he was in 53 episodes, or most recently, 53 episodes of Yellowstone.
Yep.
Keith David as Abu Imam Al-Walid, who was also in They Live as Frank. And then we have Louis Fitzgerald as Paris P. Ogilvy, however you say that, who was in nothing I recognized outside of a small part in The Wolverine. Estimated budget of $23 million, grossing $53.2, filmed in Queensland and South Australia. You can watch this on Peacock. Movies that came out around the same time, oh boy. My Dog Skip, you remember that movie that everyone forgot about until right now? Yeah.
I remember reading that book. The book destroyed me.
Next Friday, The Boondock Saints, Scream 3, Snow Day, another one everyone forgot about, The Whole Nine Yards, Reindeer Games, Mission to Mars, The Ninth Gate, and Aaron Brockovich. IMDb summary, a transport ship crashes and leaves its crew stranded on a desert island inhabited by bloodthirsty creatures that come out during an eclipse. This is Pitch Black.
They say most of your brain shuts down in cryosleep. All but the animal side. Guess that's why I'm still awake.
If the man is gone, he's gone. Why should he bother us?
Maybe to take what you got. Maybe to work your nerves.
Is he really that dangerous?
Only around humans.
Zeke!
All you people are so scared of me. But it ain't me you gotta worry about now.
Whatever it is, it got Zeke and it nearly got me. Get it off me!
They seem to stick to darkness. So if we stick to daylight, we should be all right.
gonna lose everybody out here.
You're not afraid of the dark, are you?
So, Spencer, overall thoughts on this movie? What do you have?
It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. I mean, it's definitely a 2000s movie. So like,
Yeah.
it's not. I don't know. It's not like it's a a 2000s sci-fi horror, which it's not winning any awards.
That's for sure.
CGI is kind of garbage at times. There's two particular scenes that are probably the roughest, but 2000s. I mean, even Resident Evil came out around that time.
Yeah, I mean those movies obviously do get better with the CG.
Right.
But
I mean, low budget, 23 mil. Like that's a pretty low budget for that type of movie with that type of cast.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I really enjoy it. I tend to revisit that trilogy quite often. I'd say maybe once or twice every couple of years.
That's about right. That's probably what I'll be doing after I watch the next two. My overall thoughts are, I mean, I think it's a great movie. There is some stuff that definitely bogs it down, but there's also a lot of good about this movie too. Like there's a lot of good elements that go into this movie that we'll talk about here in just a second.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I definitely, and I think it's deserving of the rating it has, because I was kind of concerned. I was like, I don't know, this seems kind of high for this type of movie. But I was like, no, I get it. I totally get it. So
Right.
we're going to do things like slightly different than normal. Instead of likes and dislikes, I've just kind of switched it up to what worked, what didn't work. It's basically
It's just a different
the
word.
same thing.
You just use a thesaurus.
Yeah, exactly. Just worded nicer. So what worked? Let's start there. I think the story, the overarching story at its core it's different than your average like space sci-fi movie, because usually it's like, all right, we're on a mission to go do this. Here's the mission. Things go wrong. This is just a whole gaggle of random people on their way back home, and then they just get like diverted into a planet. That's different to me, at least.
Right.
I mean, I feel like that's different. Like Event Horizon, they're going to check out the Event Horizon. Alien, they're going to this planet to do stuff. These guys are like, I'm on my way home. We're transporting a prisoner. Oh shit, an asteroid hit us off course. Fuck. And then they end up on this planet. So
Right.
it's like, I like that setup. I think that's an incredible setup. And then, of course, they get the planet that they get diverted to, shit goes down pretty quick. So I think the story that's what intrigued me. And it starts right off. It starts with their ship just basically being pushed off course, and then they land on this planet. And then, of course, their ship crashes. They try to find another ship to get off this rock. But I think it's got a strong setup, strong opening. What do you feel about the story, like the main core of the story?
No, I agree with you. Like,
Okay.
it was, something when we first, I guess when it first came out, not necessarily when we first watched it, because you just watched it, so it's a little,
Right.
it's not necessarily original at this moment in time. But when
No.
But when it came out, it was quite original. I mean, like you said, there's a ragtag of people. You got a rabbi. You have a cop. You have a ex-con. You have
A con.
and you have some other person, religious guy that likes his alcohol.
Oh yeah, the French guy, right? Yeah.
The one that like went back for the alcohol, which I guess in the long run it did work out for them.
Right.
But that's not the point. Like, what was he even on there for? Where they all just got a ride? It was just all a ride home. And of course, they all like what was thought was super interesting was like they all woke up like. I forgot what was it, like 20 years earlier or something. It was like a wild amount of years earlier that they woke up before they were supposed to. So like,
Was it years, really?
I think it was years.
Oh, wow.
I could be completely wrong, but it was a lot of time that's not normal.
Yeah, because Riddick was already awake because I can't remember why, but he was awake. I guess he said something about the cryo sleep not working on him, or I don't know. But he was awake, and then I know what it was. It was a rock came flying through the ship and broke open.
Yeah.
So then that woke up one of the people, and then they woke up everyone else.
Right.
And you're just like, fuck. This is I'm having a horrible time. I hate this.
This is not the way I want to be awoken.
This is not the way I want to be awoken. So yeah, let me double check that real quick. I'm just wondering if it's. Oh yeah, so they were 22 weeks into its journey and several weeks away from its next stop.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, they were, but still weeks away.
Weeks is still from cryosleep is a lot.
Yeah, so they were not even supposed to be awake at this point, but that's what happens when you're in space. Rogue shit flies around. You get knocked off course. I mean, what are you going to do? So yeah, now they're stuck on this planet that has 3 suns, which is interesting. And
which I don't even like one, so no thank you.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm already burning up with the one that's 93 million miles away. I don't need 3.
Right.
And this is kind of one of those things where I wasn't huge on this, but they eventually find out by this little rotating fucking planet diagram or whatever that there's going to be an eclipse every 22 years. There's an eclipse. All right, whatever.
I mean, I kind of like that's different. Like how they had to play kind of like detective mode to figure the captain thought Rhoda Mitchell was like, I saw this earlier. I wonder what it meant. Because earlier in the film you see her messing with it and you see the dial clicking numbers, but you're like, I have no idea what that means. And then,
that's true.
And then you go back to that.
It's been like a week since I saw this, so it's I'm doing my best. I usually watch it like the day before.
Right. I almost had to rewatch it.
I almost did. We kept having to push this because just timing. Yeah. But yeah, so that is true.
They do give us a brief glimpse of that, and you're just like, what does that even mean? And then she's like, wait a minute. And then she puts her thinking cap on, and she thinks. Yeah, I said it.
It just reminded me immediately, like, what is this, Jeepers Creepers? This planet goes into complete darkness every 22 years, and then all hell breaks loose. But yeah, it's interesting. So basically an eclipse happens with all 3 suns somehow, and now the planet is in complete darkness. And what's in the dark, you want to know? Well, these things that come out and eat you really, really quickly. And even though they looked like dog shit, really cool design, though.
The design was cool.
The design was great. They looked like hammerhead sharks almost.
Yeah, but like
super cool.
But like alien hammerhead sharks.
Right. And they really reminded me of bats in a way, because I feel like it wasn't explained, but they were making these kind of chirping noises. And I was like, are they using like echolocation? Because it cuts to like their POV and it's like static. So I'm wondering, maybe they're kind of using echolocation like dolphins or bats. Either way, I thought it was really cool because Vin Diesel's character, Riddick, he learns how to outsmart them, I think by accident, because he gets really close to one and he realizes if he just kind of stayed, they have like a blind spot in the middle.
So when they're in the boneyard,
he
sees a stone version of one and he sees like a bone and he just like, something clicks in his head and he puts that in between there and he's just like, does this real quick. Well, I know you can see this.
I can see.
Yeah, so he does this little move thing and it's just like blind spot.
Yeah, it's like a horse. It's like a combination of a horse, a bat, a hammerhead, just like a whole hodgepodge.
But I guess it makes sense too, because like if your nose is that wide out and like outwards, like you're gonna have some type of blind spot.
Yeah, and the eyes are definitely on the side too. And that's how horses. That's why they say never stand in front of a horse. You need to stand to one side because the horses, they have that like blind spot right in the middle of their nose.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, it's a fun story, People get derailed from their way. They land on this planet, gets plunged into darkness. Killer things come out in darkness. Great. I'm having a fun time.
Right.
Having such a fun time. I already mentioned the bat thing. So, yeah, then there's this really cool scene. I mean, we also have to talk first we have to talk about the lighting of this movie. The lighting of this movie is fucking insane. In a good way, I think, because there are some scenes that are clearly overexposed on purpose because there's 3 suns, but because I was watching it and I'm like, there's no way this is overexposed on accident. Like they wouldn't let that happen. But then
also because it was probably not filmed in a real planet with 3 suns.
Right. So they were having to overexpose it on purpose, but there was
I did like the blue filter they used for it. I think that was done really well.
Good. Yeah, so you have like some scenes where it's overexposed and some scenes where it's just this like light blue just filter, and then of course most of the movie does take place at night, but I think the lighting and the camera work was very well done, honestly. It was just so different.
Yeah.
Just because it was you don't normally have that many different lighting things happening in a movie. Like, yeah, so you're going to have...
Especially in, like, generally one scene.
Yeah, in space, too. Usually space is kind of either dark or bright. Like, there's like they have so many different styles.
This was definitely cool to see way a planet, I guess, would look.
With all that sun.
Right.
Yeah, so I thought that was really interesting. I also thought the sound design was good. And Michael and I had a conversation on this last episode about movies, which I think you'll appreciate, about movies around this time is... I think, and maybe let's see if you agree, because I said this on the last episode and Michael agreed, but I think the like late 90s, early 2000s are like some of the greatest time for surround sound, because they're not pumping like Disney right now. We know, we've had this conversation. Disney's pumping shit out so quick, they don't fucking care. But back then, when they would take their time on movies, like the Saw movies, they all sound so incredible because they were taking their time back then. And this movie sounded great.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that, but like I feel the peak time for like some of the best sounding surround is around this time frame, is like 2000s.
I mean, I won't disagree. I remember this was years ago, just before Blu-ray, but with DVD, it was I don't remember the year. You have your phone out. You have IMDb?
Yeah.
Look up the movie The Musketeer. It's called The Musketeer. Tell me what year that came out.
Musketeer. Singular or the...
The Musketeer. Or maybe it is just Musketeer.
Oh my God, there's a lot of them. What year is it from? Oh, 2001.
I'm guessing 2001. I would know by the poster. What's the poster look like? Show me the poster.
Looks like if it would... Fucking, there we go. That?
Yeah, that one. When did that one come out?
2001.
Okay, so on DVD, that movie was in DTS.
Okay.
Some of the best DTS and that was on DVD on like the shittiest format. So like, but also that movie doesn't exist anymore. You can't, if you don't have that on DVD, you're never going to get that anywhere, not digital, anywhere. God. It's not that good of a movie, but I used to have it on DVD. It's probably the worst iteration of Musketeer, but I had a lot of fun with it. I remember seeing it in the theaters, but like anyway. But some of that was some of the best DTS ever. And fun fact, Jurassic Park, the first one, the original, was the first movie to incorporate DTS on a disc.
Oh, wow. From 93, okay. So yeah, I mean, I think it sounded incredible, especially when you had the alien creatures making that noise. Like, it was just pinging around my living room. I'm like, why does this sound so good?
Right, but also like the 90s, early 2000s, I think was just peak movie making in general.
Yeah,
like
I mean, that's true.
We do have great movies now, don't get me wrong, but like if I had to choose like a perfect 10 years, it would be mid 90s, early 2000s, no question.
Yeah, because horror might have been weird in the 90s, but other movies were still rocking and rolling.
In general, yeah, the broad of all of the genres put together, I think everything was absolutely superior than what we have now in the long run, like as a whole.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we're going to have a couple here and there. Like Barbarian, obviously, is going to be more superior than Friday the 13th Part 1, like original or whatever. But like, not comparing those, but still, like, I think as a really good time, yeah. As a whole, it was just a really good time because, we got The Crow in the 90s, which...
Yeah, I mean, we got the first Saw on 2004, so that still is incorporated.
Yeah, we got Riddick, like you said. We got Resident Evil. Like, regardless of how it looked, it sounded phenomenal.
There's a lot of good stuff that came out of the late 90s, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think that I did not expect this movie to sound as good as it did. Even the Blu-ray copy I have, it looks great, too.
Oh, yeah, the Blu-ray looked just fine, but, got to upgrade it sometimes. Got to upgrade some things.
Yeah, sometimes. I got the Blu-ray for like $15 on Amazon. I was like, all right, I'll just do that. Also, the movie itself is great, but then everything that goes into the movie for post-production that I'm viewing now on my TV also looks great. Like I said, it sounded great. It looked great. Even the editing I thought was pretty well done. Like, now that I'm making a short film, I don't think people understand like how important a well-edited movie is.
Right.
I think it's just something that we kind of don't really passively think about because, I don't know. I mean, obviously, bad editing is going to stand out more than good editing. Like, if it's good editing, you're not going to say anything because it's flowing perfectly. But, like, man, this movie didn't fall victim to that traditional kind of late 90s, 2000s horror sci-fi editing.
Right.
So I think everything on the back end of this movie was done so well and everything on set. I'm just kind of shocked at how good this was. Right. I don't know. I wasn't expecting it to be this good, but of course, with all that good, there's going to be bad. There's some bads, but there's one scene specifically that really stood out to me. It's when they go outside And they have those, like that LED rope, essentially, where it's just like this, and it's going around everyone, and it's just like they have this aerial shot. It's pitch black, literally. Everyone's going down the little sand dunes, and you can just see all the aliens around them. I was like, this is really fucking good. There were some silly plot points and stuff like that. But, I mean, at the end of the day, I think this was, for what I was expecting, it definitely exceeded my expectations. So what are some things you got that really stand out to you from Pitch Black?
I mean, we pretty much just went through it.
All of it?
I pretty much. I mean, when I first watched it, I wasn't as like technical savvy or just critical savvy in movies. So like watching it back then, blood and gore and language. Yeah, I'm a teenage boy. Like, add some boobies and you got me my favorite movie going on.
You're speaking my language.
Exactly. So like, as I get older and watch it, like I now have more of appreciation for it, the lighting, the directing, stuff like that, and obviously that all goes into it. And
that's something I'm really starting to pick out more now, especially even though I've only done one stupid short movie, but like I really start to notice a lot more things.
And that's a lot of times when I do rewatches. So if I watch a movie for the first time, I'm watching the movie. But of course, I'm going to catch some things, especially if they stand out. But usually, if I watch it a second, third, even a fourth time, I'm watching more for technical issues or technical achievements that I'm like, holy shit, I didn't catch it the first time. That's super cool.
Right.
Like, I'm pretty sure when the first few Saw movies, like when I first watched them, I didn't see out the awesome editing that they always do.
Oh God, yeah.
And now that I watch them, I just fucking cream my pants every time.
Yeah, fucking Kevin Grudert. If I could have any editor to work with, let me work.
Awesome.
Let me work with Kevin Grudert. The man is fucking so good.
I don't know which Saw it is, but the specific editing. The specific scene sets out every time, and I should know what Saw movie it is. I've seen them a billion times.
You tell me, and I will let you know.
You might know. So it's a scene where somebody gets thrown through glass, like a glass mirror, and it's like they're going through into the.
When John Kramer gets 4.
All right, well, go fuck myself. Okay. I like some of it's like
they started having a little fun in 3, but then 4 is when they were having so much fun. So
the person goes through the glass and then it goes straight into the police station.
Yeah,
that is for because the main guy, the African American cop.
Yeah,
it goes. Yeah, so that is 4. That is right. Okay, but yeah, that specific scene always stands out to me in that entire franchise.
And they did that practically. They threw someone through the glass.
Right, exactly.
So good. And even in that same movie, there's one point where Kramer stands up and he's in the hospital and turns around and folds his arm, and then it's like through the two-way glass when they're interviewing Jill. I'm like, peak.
Yeah, like it's so good how they do that.
Yeah, so like the editing around this time is also just so great. I just feel like, I don't know what it is about like the 2000s and stuff. They were just like really...
People gave a shit.
Like,
I hate to say it.
No,
I really do,
right.
but like it was less political, and I don't mean like presidential political. I just mean like I
know what you mean. There's politics that go,
but it's worse than it's ever been, and I think that's what's causing a lot of these movies to be absolute shit.
Yeah,
like $500 million movies only making less than $100 million. Like there's
definitely
something wrong there.
Yeah,
I mean, even for instance, Megan 2 bombed.
Oh, it's bombed so bad.
And it's not even a high budget movie. It's a $25 million movie.
It made 10 million opening weekend.
Yeah,
not great.
And the first one on a smaller budget made 10 times more.
Yeah,
and that's Blumhouse's biggest issue with sequels.
Don't even get me started on them.
But anyway, I digress on that. But
you're fine.
But yeah.
And this one didn't even make like a lot of money, I mean, you have to figure.
It did make profit though. So the thing is, this movie made $23 million. To make profit, it's got to make double because because you got to think you got to assume marketing costs about the same, give or take. But yeah, so like you got to make your money back and then you got to make profit. So like it's always good to double your money in a movie.
I'm just it's kind of interesting that the sequel was 5 or so years later, I believe.
Oh, but for Chronicles?
Yeah, it's just kind of surprising that this got a sequel when it really didn't do that well. I mean, the ratings are great, don't get me wrong, but it's just like we really didn't make much money here, so I'm wondering.
But there's also, I'm not going to get into it because we have a podcast on this movie, but there's a lot of behind the scenes that Vin Diesel pulled to get the last 2 movies made.
Oh.
One of which, I don't remember which one, but one of which he actually had to sell his house to get made.
I remember you telling me about that.
I think it's Chronicles of Riddick. He made a deal with Universal to do the cameo in Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift just so they would fund Chronicles of Riddick.
You've told me that, yeah. And what's crazy about that movie is that budget was $105 million.
Oh yeah, it was a lot more because it's
4 times the amount of this budget.
Yep. Oh, and you know, it's more sci-fi than horror. Like
it's not even listed as horror. It's funny. It's
straight sci. And honestly, out of the 3, it's my favorite one.
Chronicles is?
Yes.
Okay.
Not by much, but like it still is. Out of the 3, that was my last rewatch of the whole trilogy last year.
Oh, okay.
It is my favorite one out of the 3.
I'm definitely excited to check it out because I've seen some stills from it, and I'm like, this looks
fucking
crazy.
awesome.
Fuck yeah,
it's awesome. But like, yeah, but also like even like I said, back then things were just different than they are now. Even if this movie, the marketing only maybe cost less than $1 million, let's just say, because I mean Vin Diesel wasn't a huge star back then, so they didn't really need to pay him a lot of money.
I was gonna say he didn't have star power yet.
Yeah, he didn't. I mean, this was before Fast and the Furious, so
right.
Like, he wasn't very well known. He had his side quest in Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
In the 90s, which was a couple years before this, and then also he voiced
Iron
Giant. But no one had any idea about that until like the 3rd Fast and the Furious movie.
Right. No, I didn't know that for the longest time.
Yeah. So like he was a very much unknown. This movie definitely put him on the market because he immediately went to do Fast and Furious for Universal. So this movie definitely put him out there.
So that's all the stuff that worked. And honestly, I mean, I like this Vin Diesel. Not that there's anything wrong with him in the Fast and the Furious movies. I like this Vin Diesel. He's kind of snarky. He's having a fun time.
Yeah.
I'm kind of afraid.
I like the character.
I'm kind of afraid.
Yeah, like Johnny Depp says, I'm scared, afraid, I want to go home.
Yeah, I just want to.
But yeah, so I mean, it fits the character. I mean, we don't have a lot of character development in this particular movie, but what we can get from Vin Diesel's Riddick is he's a misunderstood monster.
Yeah, because he was, they had him and he was in shackles and he was on shackles on the ship, so they were clearly taking him back to jail. So it's that really fun dynamic of, okay, this guy's dangerous, but he might be the only person to save us. So
right, and sometimes that is sometimes you just have to bite the bullet on that one,
So that's all the stuff that did work. Let's talk about stuff that didn't work. Clearly, the effects have not aged well.
Mainly the effects for me.
That's it. Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I mean, other than some typical dumb decisions that were made, that's in every movie.
Right.
Like, I'm not nitpicking that, but I want to say a lot of specific visual effects were like, no.
Yeah, some of them were bad. There was one kind of issue I had too, is that like any light affected the aliens. Typically it's specific light, UV or something, but this was just any light, and I was like, all right.
Which I mean could work, but also we didn't get a lot of lore on why.
Yeah,
we didn't get any lore on them really at all, other than what was
right
their version of like their predator vision.
And that's kind of my other what didn't work for me, is there wasn't really enough kind of story building with the monsters. They're just there.
Which, I mean, to be honest, I think if they did that, it would have taken away from the other stuff that worked for us.
You're entirely correct. It may have just taken away.
I mean, technically, the movie wasn't about those aliens. The movie was about they were stranded somewhere on a planet that had these murderous aliens that now they have to survive by trying to go home. So, like, the plot was they crash landed and needed to go home. The plot device were these aliens for survival. No, I don't think so. I'm hungry. So, in that respect, it didn't bother me.
Yeah.
But it would have been cool to get some extra lore just for shits and giggles.
Just a little bit, just a little something.
But I'm not upset about it.
And then some of my other issues were with the other characters. Like, I thought it was really strange that Jack was actually a girl, and the aliens were on their trail because she was on her period. I was just such a weird plot point to me.
Well, they did mention blood early on.
No, but I'm saying, like,
but
they could have
the sex, not necessarily the sex change, but like auditorily, visually sex change, because she obviously was a girl the whole time, but no one knew that. She was just a stowaway, wanted to like do stuff like that. I thought was kind of like,
I just wanted to know why we couldn't have someone that just had a wound. It was just weird for them to be like, all of a sudden, there wasn't anything that added to the story, so it just felt out of place.
So even Chronicles of Riddick was years later. I don't know if it was written beforehand. All I'm going to say is that character returns.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if it was the whole point to begin with, and they just did that like they already had the script written for Chronicles of Riddick. It just took a bunch of funding. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know that, but
then that makes me feel better.
But that character does come back. So I think in that case, it could be forgiven, but obviously you didn't know that.
Yeah, well, and it's not
Which
that
is
I don't.
and it's not going to change anything now. Not that it matters because it's already there. But like, yeah, so I don't know if it was already a pre-established like plot point for something else later or what.
Yeah, it's not like I didn't like the character. I just thought it was strange that we were like, I just don't know why it's specific. Like, there's many ways to bleed. I was like, why does it specifically have to be a period? It was very odd.
Right. I also think it was to show a little bit that Riddick is not the idiot that he's played off to be by Johns. Like, because
that's
so
true.
if you think because the one girl there, she's like, I'm not bleeding, and then the reveal is like, I'm not talking about you, and then boom, reveal. So I think it was a little bit to show that he's a hunter.
Yeah,
like he's obviously got those badass eyes.
He's just got he's got the eyes. He's got
So I think it was character development for Riddick in a weird way.
Well, that goes right into my next point, and that is I feel that most of the characters were kind of one-dimensional outside Riddick,
which
is fine. It's fine because they were here for Riddick. But yeah, I was just like some of these people just kind of, I mean, outside of her real name is so hard to pronounce, Radha Mitchell. She was great. I love her. I don't feel like I see her in enough things. I know she has a lot of credits, but I don't know. She's not in my.
She's not in a lot of horror. Like she was in
Silent Hill.
She was in Silent Hill. She was in this. She was in, it's not a horror film, but if she was in Olympus Has Fallen and the sequel London Has Fallen.
She was also in Rogue, that alligator movie.
She was also in that. I guess that's a horror, but yeah.
So she's been in some stuff, but yeah.
She's just more on the quiet end, like the back end of stuff. Like she's more just like a B actor.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's not that it really mattered, but like I just was wondering, and I'm not saying, it just didn't. It's nothing that makes sense. Why was Keith David a Muslim? It was so random. It was so random.
Like I said,
it's just so random. Not saying that's not allowed.
I don't know if it was already pre-done because
okay.
He is another recurring character.
Okay, all right, yeah.
But kind of spoiler, but kind of not. It kind of was time not to do that, but like to help out with that. But like I said, I don't know if it was pre-established because sometimes even though these sequels take forever, scripts are done.
Right, yeah. It's entirely possible this is already done.
But also, it could have been, out of all the group, we needed somebody to have some type of morals because nobody had morals out of him. If you took him out of the group, nobody had any morals.
Well, and I told Gabby, I was like, so I'm wondering why it's specifically Muslim. I was like, and maybe not like a Christian. She's like, well, that is one of the oldest religions.
Right.
I was like, oh, that's true.
Right.
Okay.
And technically, I wouldn't say this is in the future, but at the time when it came out, it was in the future.
Right. So it might just be establishing.
It just might have been part of the extra ragtag, a little bit of everybody.
Yeah, and this is also establishing like, hey, Muslim is still a thing even in the future.
Right.
Like it's the oldest one and it's still kicking.
Right.
So and then the alien vision, not great. Looked like static. I got what they were doing, but I mean, Predator did it so much better, like 15 years before.
Right.
So yeah.
Well, maybe they were trying to do something different, and it didn't technically work out.
Yeah, it didn't fully work
because it kind of was Predator vision, but they didn't want to copy Predator, obviously.
Right. My hot take on this movie is I am, and again, this is no shade to Fast and Furious movies. I love them, but I am so much more interested in this Vin Diesel than I am Fast and Furious Vin Diesel.
I agree with that.
Oh, okay, so
100%.
Maybe it's not too hot.
No, I mean, it could be hot. I mean, for all you know, it's just me and you.
That's true.
I've never actually
agree on like everything.
I've never heard that take ever. Actually, like,
there you go.
So,
all right.
and these movies have now become more of a cult following. Like more so this than the other two, but this one for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
do you have any hot takes?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, that would have been one, but I wouldn't have even said that if you didn't. Actually, here's a hot take.
Oh.
After seeing him in Yellowstone, Cole Hauser is an underrated actor.
Oh, okay.
Even though in most things outside of Yellowstone, he doesn't act very well. But he has the capability of acting really well.
He's got it in there.
And Yellowstone 100% shows that. So
that's on my list to watch. So
I'm going to go with, as of today, I feel like Cole Hauser is an underrated actor.
All right. Subject to change. Hooked moment for me is when Zeke shot some random survivor thinking it was Riddick, brings the body to this hole in the ground where something kills him, and then Riddick stands on top of the hole, turns around and runs. You remember that scene?
Yeah.
Yeah. So good.
It is.
Oh, so good. I was like, ooh, man, I'm in on this right now. What moment hooks you into the movie?
I was pretty sold from the beginning. I'm pretty easy. I'm a slut.
So I'm never really necessarily lost, but I do have micro moments where I'm like, ugh, and it's just the CG, you know.
Right.
But I'm never like lost on the story as like a whole. I assume you're not either.
I think I was hooked from the beginning, but it kept getting more and more interesting as it went on, and then they included the eclipse where these aliens come out to kill you at night.
Yeah, and
so
you're
now
like,
I'm just now. Like, I was already hooked, but like it was like every new thing that they added just kept me in there.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe the official like 100% hook was the impending
Eclipse.
Yeah, once that goes, you're honestly fucked.
Yeah, you're fucked.
So I think that's what like kept me in there, but like I was in from the get-go.
Okay. My horror moment is when his name is actually Paris. When Paris leaves the little convoy, when that scene I told you, that overhead shot where they're all lit up with that blue light.
Yeah.
Paris leaves for some reason, and he drinks some of his alcohol, and then he blows a fireball. And when he blows the fireball,
that's such a good scene.
Oh, there's just like all these aliens.
It's
and
so
I was like,
terrifying, but so good.
I literally was like, oh, I was like, oh my. So that's my horror moment because I thought that was such a brilliant way to show you that there was all those aliens around.
Yeah, that was really good, for sure.
What about you?
Well, that was a good one, but my horror moment is actually also my favorite kill.
Oh, perfect. Fucking tie them together.
So
Let's
it's
do
when Johns dies.
Yeah, that's mine too.
It's so good.
That's my favorite kill.
Like, that's really honestly, that's really the goriest scene of the whole movie.
Right, and it's like
and he doesn't just like die. Like he get like you know that fight scene with him and Riddick are great. Like Riddick's just
that was
like,
a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, like Riddick faked him out. Like, I'll help you. Just kidding. Fuck you, bro. And then he's like, let's play the game. Stay in the light. I'm gonna cut you. Oh, you're no longer in the light. You're done. And then you just see his head just explode. And I was just like, oh, it's so justified because Johns was such a dick.
And Johns was kind of a dick,
and he was also my worst character. So,
oh man,
all three.
All right,
I was just killing them off. All three of them.
Okay, so yeah, my favorite kill is Johns' head chomp. Favorite character for me is Keith David. Like I said, although I found it was strange, he was just it was just random to be Muslim. Nothing wrong with it. It was just random.
Honestly,
hang on, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry.
God,
I'm sorry.
I love Keith David. That's all.
That's fair.
Anytime he's in a movie, he's going to be my favorite character. So, what about you?
I mean, that's fair. Well, I mean, obviously, I'm a huge fan of Riddick.
Yeah.
But outside of that, my favorite character would be Carolyn, Rhoda Mitchell's character.
Rhoda Mitchell, yeah, she's great.
Because other than Riddick, she had like the best character development.
Yeah, 100%.
In a way. So she was my favorite non-Riddick character.
All right, least favorite character, 1, 2, 3, Johns.
Fuck that guy.
Favorite line for me was when...
It might be mine.
Crikey, I thought that was him.
Oh no, that wasn't mine.
What's yours?
So mine is like an exchange of dialogue. It's
I know what it is.
Yeah, it's looks clear. You said it was clear. How about now? Looks clear. My favorite.
So good.
It's so good because he says it no nonchalantly, like whatever.
Like it looks clear now.
Yeah, right.
Here's some random thoughts that I didn't know where to fit them into the review. 2 random thoughts and then 1 expectation I had. So no one seemed to be bothered by the fact that there were 3 suns on the planet. They when they crash landed. My eyes would not handle that. I have bright baby blue eyes. I would have been so fucked. I can't even go outside without sunglasses. So it's like, so then I was wondering, I was like, I wonder how long would it actually take to adjust your eyes from the recesses of space to a planet with 3 suns? Because space is literal pitch black darkness. So I wonder, there's got to be some scientific data out there.
I'm sure. Yeah. I'm sure there is.
So that was something interesting. And then this movie just has a wild assortment of people. You've got a couple Americans, a Muslim guy, a British guy, an Australian guy, and a kid.
Random kid.
Yeah, kid. I'm like, this is so weird. Also, expectations. I did not expect to get any shots of spaceships in space, and the opening was that, and I was like, oh, that was a nice surprise. It wasn't very often, but it was a nice little, ooh, that was cool. So,
right.
Other than that, anything else you'd like to say on, I keep wanting to say Chronicles of Riddick, Pitch Black, before we wrap up?
No, not really.
And there she goes. All right. Moving on to post-review stuff. Here we have, taglines. Here we go. Fight evil with evil. There's a new reason to be afraid of the dark. Don't be afraid of the dark. Be afraid of what's in the dark. That's my favorite.
That's my favorite one out of that one. Yeah,
because I am not afraid of the dark. I'm afraid I'm not alone in the dark.
Like what's chilling in the dark with me?
Are you afraid of the dark? You will be. ... It's getting dark. There's only one rule: stay in the light, and a new species of terror. Trivia here. The hot desert where they filmed was actually about 10 degrees Celsius or 50 degrees Fahrenheit. They were misting water on the actors' faces to appear as if they were sweating. The contacts Vin Diesel wore to play Riddick were a prototype. After the first day of filming, when they tried to remove the contact lenses, they couldn't. Due to where they were filming, they had to have an optometrist flown into the nearest town 3 hours away. Diesel called the contacts hubcaps.
Well, that makes the foreshadowing to Fast and Furious, I guess. Stupid.
Fucking brilliant.
Stupid.
I actually Googled this and verified this is true. The full-size spaceship stage used in the movie can still be found in Australia in the mining town of Coober Pedy in South Australia, bought by a local businessman soon after filming was completed. It sits out in the open. Entry to the site is on Hutchinson Street, opposite of Winch Street. It is marked and can be seen clearly on Google Maps. More information can be found on the web.
That's cool.
Two more things here. This film developed from David Chewie's unused idea for Alien 3 involving a space prison. And this was the breakthrough film role of Vin Diesel.
Yep.
There we go. I actually have some goofs this time. During Riddick's monologue in the beginning of the movie, right after he says, "Smelled a woman," Shaza opens her eyes for a second while she's supposed to be in her cryosleep. When Fry is climbing out of the cave, the solid walls shake, and Paris says that spirits over 45 proof burn quite well, but spirits over 90 proof, or 45% alcohol by volume, are highly flammable. So what he says is not accurate. He meant to say 45%, not 45 proof. Rated 7.0 out of 10 on IMDb, 3.3 out of 5 on Letterboxd, 59% on the tomato meter, and a 77% audience score. What did you give this, Spencer?
3.5.
I also gave it a 3.5. I wanted to give it a 4. It might go up on the next. Yeah, it might. You know, it's entirely possible. Similar movies according to Letterboxd, we have Pandorum, Aliens, Alien Covenant, and Predators. And similar movies according to IMDb, we have The Chronicles of Riddick, The Chronicles of Riddick, Into Pitch Black, The Chronicles of Riddick, Dark Fury, and Riddick, Blindsided. Got it. It's a lot of animated movies on this franchise. Let's move on to some funny reviews. I believe I have 5, as I typically do.
I have 3.
All right, now let's start this B off here. Let's go. Okay, here we go. So, 2 stars from Zara. Probably would have been more interesting if I was just watching my pitch black screen for an hour and 48 minutes.
So I have that review too.
All right, sorry.
No, that's fine, but that's one of mine too.
All right.
Anyway, son of a bitch.
Fucked it up.
It's about to happen. All right, so here's 2 stars. Vin says his full name is Richard B. Riddick. Ergo, his name could be Dick Big Riddick.
That was one of mine.
Shit. Nice.
Let's see. This is probably one of yours. 3.5 stars from Kit Laser.
No.
Okay, perfect. 3.5 stars from Kit Laser. Before there was family, there was just Riddick.
I saw that one too and thought about it, and I'm like, no. I did make my own family Riddick one too. But here's one. 4 stars. When Riddick was born, he cut his own umbilical cord. It's like a Chuck Norris joke. I like it.
Oh, yes, I like that. 2 stars from Anthony. What the hell? Why? Look at this guy's name. His name is so teeny tiny. Look at this. Why is his name so tiny?
I don't know.
It's very strange.
What a silly guy.
All right, 2 stars from Anthony. Are we sure this wasn't a Sci-Fi Channel original?
I thought about adding that one too. We would have just had, all of us would have just been the same.
This is what happens when Spencer and I do episodes. We have the same rating, we have the same reviews, we have the same thoughts.
This is everything. Why do we even do this together?
Why do we even do this? How dare you? Oh my goodness. So if you enjoy the show, please rate and review on your favorite podcast app of choice. We've joined some new social media, so you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Slasher app, Blue Sky. I feel like there was another one. Oh, Threads and YouTube. at frightmarespodcast, as if my life wasn't busy enough posting to all the other bullshit. Our email is stayspooky@outlook.com. You can also follow me personally on Letterboxd at Dr. Proctor. You are
Slafferman.
Literally the coolest name on planet Earth. That is SLAFFERMAN. Be sure to check out our sister podcast, The Shameless Picture Show. That is a podcast I edit. Michael Vyers is always on this show as well, so be sure to check that one out. And also another shameless plug for the Dead-Eyed Millennial podcast, another show I edit because, again, I have no time. Or I have so much free time on my hands that I just continue to dive into podcast after podcast. At this point, they're like Blu-rays. I just keep collecting them.
Right.
They're like Infinity Stones. I need to collect 6, and then I'll be all powerful, I guess. So,
right.
Next week, Gabby and I will be doing 13 Ghosts from 2001. So until then, stay tuned and...
Oh, that's my turn. Stay spooky.